Hey everybody, it's Rod Bergeron and we're going to start a series today about composition. So I wanted to talk a little bit about this particular drawing that I have on here. It's with soft pastels and that is originally from this drawing, and I hope I can zoom in on that. If not, we'll put a picture up. But this is in Coburg. This is Henley's Arcade, some downtown buildings. And so this is a little thumbnail sketch that I did, a little bigger than a thumbnail sketch, but a little sketch that I did in my little black sketchbook that I carried around with me. Anyways, I wanted to transpose this onto something. So being a guy who never really wants to work on anything normal, this is a big thick piece of cardboard. I hope that shows up, but it's a big thick piece of cardboard. And so what I did was I figured out the dimensions of this and got a piece of cardboard that was about 10 times as big, all right? So what I can do is I can actually measure on here a distance of something and then just multiply it times 10. So say this was half of a centimeter, well 10 times that is 5 centimeters, all right? You get my gist. So if it's 10, it's 10 times on this as it is on this. All right, so the measurements work out pretty easily. So, but in composition, I really wanted to talk about how is it that we get to have a pleasing composition. I mean, that's the crux of art. How is it that we create something, you know, I'm using cardboard, but you could be using canvas or paper or anything else. How is it that we create a pleasing composition? And you should ask yourself that every time. Is this a good composition? Am I creating a pleasing composition? And I have a bunch of rules about that, but the first rule that I want to talk about is you have to paint or draw or sculpt something that you're interested in. If you're not interested in it, it's not going to turn out. And that's plain and simple truth, all right? I don't like to draw people. I know that about myself. I hate doing it. I did it in university. I did all the anatomy studies. I know how to do it all. It's just not my thing. My thing is I really like to do stuff with geometry. And that's why buildings are super important to me. I really like to look at how geometrically things fit together. I like to know the size of this window and the space between them. I like to do those kinds of calculations. I like to figure that out. And that's why geometry, because I like geometry, I'm able to figure something like this out. I'm able to look at it. I'm able to understand how it goes together. And then I just simply start doing the math. This is 5 centimeters. This is 10 centimeters. This is 2 centimeters in between each one of these things. I like to do the math. Some people don't like to do the math. If you don't like to do the math, maybe landscapes is your thing. But it's all proportionally relevant. So in other words, the distance between somebody's eyes is proportionally the same as X. Maybe it's the length of their nose. But you got to pick a standard and you got to measure it. My point here is if you want to do really good compositions, if you want to do really good art, if you want to do art that is really true to you, number one, pick something you're interested in, all right? That's my very first point. Don't go around trying to do stuff that you don't like. This is art. There's supposed to be some enjoyment to it. There's supposed to be some fun to it. Do the things that you want to do, all right? That's the first rule. The second rule is focus in on a particular thing. I have 3 buildings here, all right? And this is the thing that I want to focus on. All right. If you want to focus on just a building, a window, a section of the downtown landscape, then just focus on that. All right. But focus on a particular element. All right. And then the other thing that I really want to make clear is that I do a lot of thumbnails. I mean, I do a lot of sketches. For me, I might go somewhere and do a whole book full of sketches. You know, before I figure out what it is that I want to do, I might draw something over and over and over again. It helps me understand the subject. It helps me figure out what it is that I want to draw and what it is I don't want to draw. Figure that out. What are the things that you are really interested in, and what are the things that you could care less about? All right? You got to figure that out for yourself. And then focus in on the elements that interest you. All right? Once you focus and you do some small sketches, some small thumbnails, you figured out how it is that you want to put that thing together, all right? Then go back and edit it. You know, say, hey, I really want to put some color into that thing. I really like drawing it in black pen, but now I want to put some color into it. What color should I use? And then think about, what can I leave out? What can I put in? In this particular drawing that I'm working on here, there's a bunch of things on the street. There's some benches, there's some trees. I'm kind of interested in the buildings. I'm going to edit out a whole bunch of stuff. There's some parts of the roof up here that I really don't like. I'm going to edit them out. There's some detail around some windows. I don't have time for that. I don't want to do that. That's not going to be my thing. All right? So the very first part of composition is an acronym that I invented. It's FTE. And it stands for focus, thumbnails, and edit. And once you are done editing, you go back and you do more thumbnails. Maybe you change your focus. Maybe you look at another thing. But you can go back around in that loop for quite a while before you are determined that you're going to complete one particular thing. So I focus, I do some thumbnails, and then I edit them. And then I refocus, I do some more thumbnails, I edit them. And I can keep going around in that circle for a long time until I get to a point where I understand what it is about this particular subject matter that I want to do. And that's what I've done here. I looked at downtown Coburg. I figured out the things that I was interested in. Here, this is the back alley in downtown Coburg. And this is sort of the front of the same building. So this is the front side, this is the back side. Well, I'm interested in working in soft pastels, and so I wanted to do the front part of this. So I took a bunch of photos, did this sketch, took a bunch of photos, did this sketch, and I finally decided upon this part for my first work in this series. All right? But I went through that process many, many times over and over again. Do yourself a favor and learn the idea FTE. Once again, it's focus, thumbnail, and edit. All right? Stay tuned for the rest of this series that's coming up. If you learned anything from this video, please click like. If you're not currently a subscriber, please subscribe to my channel. And I really hope that you'll come back and check out the rest of my videos. Thanks a lot for checking this out. See you again real soon.